Hello everyone, my name is Benjelio from Center for Solar Terrestrial Research in New Jersey Institute of Technology. Today I'm going to present a work of an assessment of high-frequency radio wave propagation in Antarctica using MATLAB ray tracing package Farlab. The information of ionosphere and geomagnetic field is given by IRI 2016 model and IGRF 2016 model respectively. Though IRI is unrealistic for polar region, it still provides a general idea of the impact of ionosphere to the high-frequency radio wave. We simulate the situation of a transmitter-receiver pair with the transmitter located at McMurdo Station and receiver located at the South Pole Station. 5 frequencies of the transmitter are 4.1, 5.2, 6.0, 6.4, and 7.2 MHz, which is consistent with the experiment. The date is March the 21st, 2018, the spring equinox in that year, which is a critical date of the year with a significant ionosphere density change over time in one day. The elevation angle is 3 degrees to 81 degrees with an increment of 1 degree. This figure shows a visualized result of Farlab ray tracing simulation. It shows 10 MHz rays for skywave over the horizon radar in New Zealand calculated by 2D ray tracing. Farlab is a MATLAB toolbox for the study and modeling of the propagation of high-frequency radio wave in the Earth's ionosphere. It provides 2D and 3D numerical ray tracing engines. Here, this is a picture and location of McMurdo Station where our transmitter is located. This is a simulation result of bearing angle of 360 degrees. The increment is 4 degrees. It provides an overview of the positions we expect to receive the signal from the transmitter at McMurdo. The color code here is the absorption, and the deviated absorption is not included. In order to compare with the actual experiment result from the receiver located at the South Pole, we narrowed down the bearing angle to 175 degrees to 185 degrees with an increment of 1 degree. In this simulation, the bearing angle at 180 degrees directly points towards the South Pole. This slide shows the landing point at the local sunrise. At noon, it shows a high absorption and the small ground range for all the frequencies. Here is the sunset. The simulation result is quite similar with what we showed for the sunrise. At midnight, the low plasma density allows more rays to escape. The number of landing rays decreases, especially for 6.4 and 7.2 MHz, as lower ionosphere density allows more rays to escape. The previous 4 slides are all for O mode, and for the X mode, they have approximately the same pattern of landing points, but with a shorter group range and higher absorption. Now we select a radius of 100 km receiving zone centered at South Pole and plot the group range in the whole day. The left panel is for O mode, the right panel is for X mode. We can see that the X mode has higher absorption than O mode, especially for the 4.1 megahertz. This is a figure of actual experiment of the signal received by the receiver at the South Pole Station. The figure is from the paper cited below. The color code here is the receiving intensity. Vertical axis is the group range and horizontal axis is the time with the same grid as the simulation result. Here in this slide, the left panel is a combination of X mode and O mode. And comparing with the actual experiment data, there is some downshift in group range in our simulation result. Well, the reason may be that IRI model overestimate the ionosphere density, because with lower plasma density, the reflection point of rays will be higher in altitude, which leads to an increasing in group range, and the landing point shown in the simulation during the local night will be out of the selected 100 radius zone if the plasma density is lower. So as the conclusion, there is both agreement and disagreement with between the model and the experimental result. The appearance of power and experimental the experimental result is consistent with the decrease in absorption predicted by the modeling. The disappearance of power during nighttime does not agree with the ray trace modeling result. The result from simulation has an approximately 200 kilometers downshift in group range comparing with the experimental data. The reason I mentioned is, as I mentioned, is just maybe the IRI model overestimates the ionosphere density, which leads to more rays within 100 kilometers zone from the South Pole, especially during the local night. Future work includes testing the sensitivity of the ray tracing result to variance in IRI and adjustment to the ray trace model, such as number of rays used. That's pretty much it for my presentation, and thank you for listening.